If you stopped working today, right now, could someone else run your client onboarding process tomorrow? Not with your help. Not after a 90-minute knowledge dump. Just a document and a capable person. For most solopreneurs, the honest answer is no. And that's not a staffing problem. That is a documentation problem. According to a 2015 survey, 96% of businesses report that they have some form of process documentation. By the end of this video, you will have a complete method for turning your own process knowledge into a formatted SOP, using a free AI tool as your interviewer. No blank page, no writing from scratch, just a conversation that ends with a document. Let's start with why this matters. And the third reason is the one that catches most people off guard. Reason 1, delegation. The moment you want to hand anything off, a contractor, a VA, a part-time hire, you need a written process. Not a verbal walkthrough, a document. If it only exists in your head, you cannot delegate it. Most solopreneurs try to hire before they document. The contractor asks the same questions 3 times and still gets it wrong. Not because they are incapable, but because the process was never made transferable. Reason 2, consistency. When your process is documented, every client gets the same experience. The onboarding happens in the same order. The welcome email goes out in the same window. Without documentation, the experience depends on your energy level that day. Reason 3, and this is the one people underestimate, business value. If you ever plan to sell your business, documented processes are a valuation driver. According to BizBuySell's 2023 Insight Report, businesses with documented operational systems consistently sell for higher multiples than businesses where the owner is the system. You are not just documenting for efficiency, you are documenting to prove this business can run without you. So why doesn't anyone do it? Because they sit down, open a blank document, and have no idea where to start. They know the process, they run it every week. But translating operational knowledge into clear written steps is a different skill. So the document stays blank. The process stays in their head. The AI interview method changes that. You never write a word. Here is the workflow. 3 steps. The hardest part is starting. Step 1, set up the interview. Open Claude, ChatGPT, or Gemini. Free tier is sufficient. Give the AI a specific role and a clear task. You are not asking it to write an SOP. You are asking it to interview you until it has enough information to write one. Create the setup prompt. That prompt does 3 things. Gives the AI a role, constrains the format to 1 question at a time, and explicitly delays the writing. That last part matters. You want the full conversation before the AI starts drafting. Step 2, answer conversationally. The AI will ask you things like, what triggers this process? Who does each step? What happens if something goes wrong? You answer the way you would explain it to a new employee over coffee. No formal language, no structure. Just talk through what you actually do. Most people find this takes 8 to 12 minutes for a moderately complex process. Step 3, ask for the document. Once the questions are exhausted, you give the AI a single generation prompt. The AI will produce a formatted draft. It will not be perfect. It will be 80 to 90% of the way there, which is 80 to 90% more than you had before the conversation started. You review, correct anything it got wrong, add what it missed. That is the whole workflow. Here's a specific example. Client onboarding is the most valuable process to document first. It sets the tone for every engagement, and it is the one most likely to vary depending on your memory and your schedule that day. You open Claude and run the setup prompt with client onboarding as the named process. The AI asks its first question. What is the very first thing that happens after a client says yes? What action do you take within the first 24 hours? You answer. Maybe you say, I send a welcome email with the contract link, then add them to my project management tool and schedule the kickoff call. The AI notes that. Next question. What does the welcome email include? Do you have a template or write it fresh each time? This continues for 8 to 10 exchanges. The AI is building the full picture: what happens, in what order, who does it, what tools are involved, and what the decision points are. Then you send the generation prompt. What comes back is a formatted SOP, an overview sentence, 7 numbered steps with timing and owner for each, a decision path for 2 common variations, and a printable checklist at the end. You paste it into Google Docs. You review it. You fix the one step it slightly got wrong. You add a note about a client type that needs a modified flow. Total time from first prompt to complete document, approximately 20 minutes, for a process you have been running for 2 years and never written down. Creating the SOP is step 1. Making it usable is step 2. In Google Drive, create a single folder called Operations. Inside it, one subfolder per functional area: client delivery, finance, marketing, admin. Every SOP lives in the relevant subfolder. Each document uses the same naming convention: function, process name, version number. The version number matters. When a process changes, you update the document and increment the version. Keep the old version in an archived subfolder. This protects you when someone uses a process and you cannot trace when it changed. For maintenance, a single 30-minute calendar block every quarter labeled SOP Review. Open each document. Run the checklist mentally. If the process has changed, update it. Use the same AI interview method, pasting in the existing SOP and describing what has changed. The AI does the rewrite, you do the review. To summarize, every process that only exists in your head is a liability. It cannot be delegated, it cannot be consistent, and it cannot be valued by anyone but you. Documentation used to take too long, so no one did it. The AI interview method changes the economics. The bottleneck was not knowledge, it was the blank page. Remove the blank page, and most solopreneurs can document a complete process in under 30 minutes. That changes what is possible. Do not try to document your entire business this week. Pick one process. The one you have to explain most often, or the one where things go wrong when you are not paying attention. Open Claude or ChatGPT free tier. Run the setup prompt from this video. Answer the questions. Generate the document. Paste it into Google Docs. That is one process documented. That is the start of a system. The prompt is in the resource linked in the description. If this gave you something useful, subscribe so you don't miss the next one.